What's up, guys? It is 2018, so it's time to get started on some new reviews. So I'm going to crank out a few in one video for two figures that are pretty similar. If you saw one of my recent haul videos, you might know what these are. So we've got some new Power Rangers in the Legacy line. I've said before that I don't really care for this line, but I'm trying to give it a second chance because they are making figures that I am interested in. Again, after they made the Gold Ranger. So we're on to ZEO and Dino Thunder. We've got the green ZEO Ranger here, that's ZEO 4 green. And then we've got the blue Dino Thunder. I like the Dino Thunder designs. I don't really know a whole lot about the show. It was after my time for Power Rangers, so I've never actually watched the Power Rangers version. I have seen the Super Sentai version, so I know what's going on there. I know about the show, but I don't have a whole lot of attachment to this particular US character. Now ZEO, on the other hand, I did watch. Johnny Ong Bosch is a big favorite of mine, so I love him and pretty much anything he does, and that's his Ranger here. As far as packaging on these goes, they are pretty standard for this line. You've got a window box, which looks pretty good. It's got good artwork, solid design all over. I do like the presentation on these. I mean, I'm going to take them out anyway, but they are appealing to me, so I do like what they've done with this packaging. So let's take these guys out and take a closer look. Alright guys, so here they are out of the packaging, and there's some quirks about these figures that I'm going to talk about. If you've seen any of my other Legacy Ranger reviews, there's not many, Green Ranger, White Ranger, and Gold ZEO, you pretty much know what to expect in terms of these guys and their articulation. It is pretty standard stuff, so I'm going to blaze through it real quick just to get it out of the way. We'll use Green ZEO here just as an example. So we've got a head that can swivel, look up and down and all around. Arms can go all the way out, all around, bicep swivel, double jointed elbow. They've got ball jointed wrists. They've got an ab crunch, waist twist. Legs can generally go all the way out. These guys have holsters, so it is going to get in the way just a little bit, so be careful that you don't pop those pegs, break things. Legs can go forward pretty far, about 90 degrees if you twist them a little bit. They do have a thigh cut. I've said before, I don't like the look of this joint. I just think it's unattractive, but it is functionally solid. And then we've got double jointed knees. They have nothing at the boot in terms of the boot cuff or the shin. They've got ankle rocker and they've got a hinge. So pretty solid articulation, on par with your standard Legends stuff, really, because that's what they're going for here, is a Legends style articulation scheme. Now, as far as the sculpts go, they are, for the most part, standard, just like, the MMPR figures or Gold ZEO, just they have their own little touches, though. So we've got the different helmets. The Green ZEO is obviously more simplistic because his visor is just a rectangle. That's kind of the theme for ZEO, is a geometry type theme. Dino Thunder Blue has the Triceratops horn sculpted onto the helmet, which I think looks really good. I dig the design on this guy. I love the ZEO designs as well, though, but I do like this guy just for what he has to offer because he's got a little something extra. ZEO obviously has the designs sculpted into the cuffs and the boots and the chest piece there, which is sculpted pretty well. I like it. There's a lot of detail in there in the kind of inset plastic. So that's overall pretty nice. They do all offer, as I mentioned, holsters. They just peg in. ZEO has two because he has a sword. This is the sword. We'll talk about that in a moment. And then he has a gun. And then Dino Thunder Blue has one holster because he just has the one. Dino Thunder Blue also has his morpher sculpted onto his wrist as well. It's just this black glob of plastic. You can kind of tell what it's supposed to be, I think. I mean, I know what it is. I know what it's supposed to be. It's obviously not very detailed, but it's there. And then overall, they do share the kind of the same body. That's pretty much the theme of this line, is that they share a lot of parts for the most part. And I think it works out pretty well. I mean, Rangers are supposed to be relatively similar in that regard, so I'm okay with it. The weird things that I'm finding with these figures is, at least in comparison to my last big gripe about the Gold Ranger, is paint applications on these guys. So, the thing that I made a point of over and over and over again with the Gold Ranger is that he didn't have any gold on him. But if you look at these figures, they do. So this is from the same series, Green ZEO and Gold ZEO. He has gold paint on him, but not everywhere. He doesn't have it anywhere other than the neckline and the chest, which is kind of weird. He has a little bit on the ends of his wrist there. Dino Thunder Blue, which, while from a different series, is from the same wave of figures, he has gold paint as well. He's got it on his chest emblem, he's got it around his collar, and he's got it on his wrist. So to me that just seems odd because, you know, they clearly costed it into the line to be able to apply it to these figures, yet the figure that needed it the most didn't get it. Seems kind of weird to me. Beyond that, I don't really have any issues with how these guys looks, except for one. This is something that I griped about with my Green Ranger specifically, not this Green Ranger, but the actual Mighty Morphin Green Ranger, is because of how they posed this guy in the box, his legs are beyond jacked. The joints, the actual hinge inside the knees is bent. It's warped. And if I could get the camera to focus for 2 seconds, you'll see that. So, yeah, you can see they're both curved and bowing out very poorly. I mean, I can fix it. I fixed the other Rangers that have had this issue, but it's something that I was hoping to avoid because Bandai has been made aware that this is a QC issue, yet they did it again because he was kind of posed in a dynamic way in his box, so his legs were kind of out. But this, I mean, that's pretty bad. So he can't even really stand straight up without looking kind of wonky. So again, it's just something to take note of. It's not going to break the figure. I can fix it, heat it up, cool it back down. Not a big deal. It's just something that kind of irritates me because I, you know, shouldn't have to do it. And if I was a little kid who got this figure, I certainly wouldn't be able to do it probably. And it would bother me because to me that looks like the figure is broken when in fact it's just because Bandai decided to package him weird. So that said, that's enough of that. Let's take a look at some accessories with these guys. Alright, so accessories. Like I said, Green ZEO has 2. Dino Thunder Blue has 1. They don't come with, and this was kind of a thing with the Mighty Morphin Rangers that I figured they would have gotten over at this point, they don't come with their actual power weapons. So these are just the standard weapons, just like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers came with blade blasters. These guys come with just the standard array of, you know, the weapons that they get when they first turn into Rangers, not the stuff that they sort of unlock, you know, a week after they get their powers. So Green ZEO has the, what is it called? The Power Pod sword. This is supposed to be a sword, but it's not like on really. And then he's got his blaster. So they both come with the appropriate holsters as well. I'm not going to consider those accessories. They're just not attached to the figure in the box. The ZEO sword and the blaster, they're sculpted well enough. They're not particularly appealing. He looks kind of boring to me with these particular weapons. I wish he would have had his actual power weapon, the Square Crushers, I think is what they're called, or something like that. I could be very wrong, but that's what sounds right. And these are okay. They're sculpted well, painted pretty well, and they both fit into their appropriate holsters just fine. I just wish that he came with his actual power weapon. You know, it's the same problem that people complained about last time, so I'm not sure why they did this. That said, I do find that these guys have somewhat of an issue holding their pistols because they don't have trigger fingers on either hand. And there are triggers that are actually sculpted onto the guns. So they kind of want to pop in and out unless you get them right in the way they need to be. So, you know, until I noticed he was kind of holding the gun at an angle because the pistol trigger was kind of pushing his finger out of the way. As far as Dino Thunder here, the gun is actually supposed to be a transforming weapon, so it's a gun and a sword. This is still the base weapon that they have. This thing doesn't transform. It is black and it's got some metallic blue and silver and gold on it. It's the Thundermax sword, I think is what it's called. Again, I'm not big on Dino Thunder, so correct me if I'm wrong there. I do like the design of this weapon. At least it is more dynamic and more interesting than kind of a standard white glob of plastic with some paint slapped on it. But at the end of the day, he does have a unique weapon. Don't ask me what it is. I don't know off the top of my head. But he doesn't come with it. They come with their requisite Build-A-Zord pieces, which I'm not going to look at. Unless I build the Zords, I'm not going to go into those. I'm not sure I'm even going to get that far. So they have those extra pieces. But as far as accessories, they have these. They're okay. Yeah, they're okay. So overall, these are, again, okay. They aren't as troublesome as, you know, my problems with the original figures that I got. Blue Dino Thunder does have the issues that made me stop wanting to buy these figures, so that's a problem on its own. I will fix it. I can fix it. It's not a big deal. And at the end of the day, though, I bought Green ZEO because I like the ZEO Rangers, and there aren't any ZEO Rangers in any other fashion that are current modern figures. Same with Dino Thunder. I like their designs, but there aren't any figure arts or anything like that. So I will get the set. I'll get the the whole team. But at the end of the day, it doesn't make me want to buy these any more than I already was. Maybe stick to 6th Rangers is where I need to go. I don't need to be making full teams of these figures. And I think they should come with their power weapons. That was a whole issue before, to the point where they had to re-release all of Mighty Morphin to appease fans. So I don't understand quite why they're doing it again. It's maybe not quite as problematic because these aren't, the main Power Rangers. These aren't the originals. So I'll just assume that that's the reasoning behind that and go forward. So that's going to do it for this little look at the green ZEO and blue Dino Thunder Legacy Rangers from Bandai. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you guys think. And until next time.